What's better than a mystery package? A mystery package. And I genuinely do not know what is in this. Because I do get a lot of packages, I am someone who's constantly checking my UPS and everything. And last week, or maybe longer than that, I saw a package pop up that was from Random House, specifically from the New York office. And typically when I get packages from Berkley, except for the odd hardcover every now and again, I'm getting it from the office in Toronto. So obviously I was dying to know what this is, and it took forever for it to actually be picked up by UPS. It finally just got delivered, and this packaging, of course, has me even more intrigued. We have Berkley Mystery invites you to crack the case. And then if you come down here, it says, this case, open this box. And then on the sides, it says handle with suspense. I gotta know what's in it. As always, you guys get to see first. Oh my God, 4 books? What is this? Oh. One of the recent Berkley newsletters had like a Berkley romance giveaway, an ace giveaway, and then just a general Berkley giveaway. I entered for all 3, obviously, but this must be the general one, maybe? The first thing out is a sticker sheet that has all the different genres, and it also has stickers for like their 3 imprints, so Berkley, Berkley Romance, and Ace. A small sampling of my Berkley shelf already. Okay, so yeah, it was one of the mystery box giveaways, specifically mystery. So let's see what mysteries are in here. First up, we have The Midnight Taxi by Yosha Gunasekara. One last fare with a deadly final stop. When one of her fares turns up dead in her back seat, a Sri Lankan-American taxi driver works off the clock to clear her name in this mystery novel by debut author. Our main character, Siri, is a taxi cab driver in New York City. Not necessarily by choice, she wanted to have a legal career, but she has to make ends meet. One day, a public offender, Maya, gets into her cab. They connect quickly, seem to be making some new friends, but then her next passenger ends up murdered in her back seat. Obviously, she is the first suspect, so she calls on her new public defender friend, and it sounds like they have 5 days to figure out what actually happened and who killed the midnight passenger. This one's coming out on February 10th of next year. I'm obsessed with the cover art. The next one is I'm Not the Only Murderer in My Retirement Home. This one's by Fergus Craig, and I am obsessed with the cover, which is a knitting that turns into the body outline from a crime scene. After a decades-long stint in prison, former serial killer Carol is looking to kick back and relax in her new retirement home, until a fellow resident drops dead and Carol has to prove she actually didn't do it this time. So our lead character, Carol, looks stoked to be leaving prison, going into a new retirement home, hoping to start a new life. But when one of her fellow residents are killed, who also happens to be the former police commissioner, her true identity as a serial killer is leaked, making catching up over daily activities of bingo and baking rather awkward. And just her luck, it seems like the retirement home she's at is filled with former cops, barristers, and government reps, and those include her newfound friends. And of course, because she's a convicted serial killer, everyone figures that it was her who did it, but she is quote unquote ready to prove them dead wrong without killing anyone. For once. This one is definitely going high on my list because it sounds like it'll be a really good comedic murder mystery. And I mean, the fact that our main character is a female serial killer in a retirement home, chef's kiss. I'm Not the Only Murderer in My Retirement Home comes out on February 17th of next year. Next up, we have The Pie and Mash Detective Agency by J.D. Brinkworth. Adorable oddball couple Jane and Simon take a private detective class and must use their admittedly limited skills to solve a series of mysterious disappearances in this delightful debut mystery. This follows Jane and Simon, who are a millennial couple who are basically looking for a new way to fill some of their time. So they decide to take a private detective course. They don't seem like they're very good at it, and their instructor recognizes it, so then they assign them the case of Nellie Thorne, who is a woman who's recently been reported missing. However, there have been 5 Nellie Thornes in the last 50 years that have also gone missing. The investigation leads them to places they never thought they'd go, including haunted woods, mysterious archives, and most terrifyingly for Jane, Simon's mom's house. It's another one that sounds like it'll be another good comedic mystery, maybe with a touch of rom-com just because we're following a couple, but I won't know for sure until I read it. The Pie and Mash Detective Agency is coming out on March 10th of next year. And our last mystery out of the box is Rachel West and the Fallen Starlet by Emma Mills, another one whose cover I am obsessed with. I love this chain on the flip phone. There's a little blurb up here that says Hollywood gossip is killer. Did anybody else go through a weird phase of middle school where they were like constantly refreshing Perez Hilton's website because they had to stay up to date on that? Just me. Celebrity gossip can cut to the quick, but when it turns deadly, it's up to an aspiring reporter and her quirky neighbors to close the case in the first of a witty and nostalgic new mystery series. They say nostalgic because this actually takes place in 2008 in Los Angeles. Our main character is Rachel, who wants to work in glossy entertainment journalism, but instead she's currently working at a celeb gossip rag. One night in a nightclub bathroom, she meets Molly Byrne, who is an ex-child star, current tabloid favorite, always finding themselves in drunken escapades. I'm sure we can think of some real-world comparisons. And Rachel and Molly quickly form a genuine friendship. Unfortunately, however, Molly is found dead, and everyone in Hollywood just accepts, like all the other party celebrities, that was an overdose. But Rachel knows her friend and is very suspicious and thinks she was murdered, and she's not the only one who thinks so. So in order to solve Molly's case and bring her justice, she works with a ragtag group of residents from her apartment building, a friendly paparazzo, and a handsome detective. Like I said, I have this weird kind of nostalgia for like peak Hollywood gossip celebrity stuff. And of course now I look back on it and kind of cringe because it was insane. But given that this is set in 2008 and follows this kind of celebrity gossip stuff, I do think this is gonna be right up my alley. And one that I can definitely see myself reading pretty soon is a nice little palate cleanser. Rachel West and the Fallen Star is coming out on May 19th of next year. Of course, a big thank you to Berkley for sending these to me. I'm very much looking forward to adding more mystery back into my reading rotation. And these all have really fun premises that make them all the more intriguing to me. If any of these mysteries also intrigued you, I'd highly recommend putting them on your TBR, keeping your eye out when we get closer to release. And let me know which one you think I should read first and which one you want my review on the most. My top two contenders right now are definitely I'm Not the Only Murderer in the Building and Rachel West and the Fallen Starlet. I am still finding myself in a bit of a reading slump, but one thing I find can help me is a good genre shift.